Whether it's in the Arctic, Antarctic, or the Great Lakes as it was for us, if you ever have a chance to sail on the Viking Octantis, take it. Why? Well, I'll tell you. We boarded the Viking Octantis in Thunder Bay, Ontario. Our itinerary was the Viking Expedition's 7-day Great Lakes Explorer. We got to the ship very early because we'd stayed overnight in Thunder Bay, and boarding was as easy as it gets. Now I'm trying something different with this video. Instead of telling the story chronologically, what I'm going to do is show off the ship, and then in a second video I will show the excursions. Let me know in the comments if you think doing it this way works. One of the first experiences you'll have on any cruise is the safety briefing.
Alright, so first of all, we are all of us in deck 5.
They gave the briefing to small groups, so there was no awkward killing of time while we waited for other people to show up. And once we knew where to go and what to do if something bad were to happen, we got to start looking around the beautiful ship. And where better to start our exploration but the Explorer's Lounge? Located on deck 5, this is one of the many open spaces where there's lots of seating and lots of good views. One of the most impressive things about this ship is you'll always be able to find a comfortable chair. And that's partly because full capacity is 378 passengers. That becomes even more impressive when you realize there are 256 crew to take care of you and make sure the ship moves smoothly. Here we're moving through the living room. This is where the briefing had taken place. And this is also the deck with the closest thing to a promenade. The Octantis has 3 venues for dining, and after a good hand washing, you enter the World Cafe. This was my first pass through. We'll come back when it's actually serving, but you get the sense that it's a large and really comfortable space. If you walk through it all the way to the stern of the ship, you come to this. Yes, there are pools back here, and there's the Aquavit Terrace. And that raises a point. Remember how I said there were 3 main venues to eat in? Viking would probably count it as 5, as they count something called Mamson's, and maybe as a carryover from their river cruises, the Aquavit Terrace as a 4th and 5th venue. As I put this video together, I realized I paid an awful lot of attention to the bread and desserts. Please note I'm not apologizing for having done so. And please note that this ship had at least 6 places to get coffee. Maybe more if you count your own cabin. Thus far, I'm absolutely loving this ship, the size of it, the finishes of it, but let's go take a look at our cabin. Now, most of this is self-explanatory, but I do have a couple of things I'll tell you. Here's the first thing. There's a floor-to-ceiling window, and the upper half of it lowers, so you more or less have a balcony. I guess you'll have to take my word for it, but the bed was super comfy. They offer room service breakfast, and there are power supplies right next to the bed. The side table offers wireless charging as well. We never figured that out though. Here are binoculars you can use for the various excursions. You can't use the large, well-positioned TV until you watch the safety video.
In an emergency, you will be alerted by a general emergency alarm.
This is for exercise, for exercise, for exercise. Sneezy.
Once that's done with, you can track your progress on the screen. Now here's a unique feature. There is a drying closet next to the wardrobe. For the cold weather excursion cruises, this would be essential. On this cruise, they just used it for the life jackets. We found the wardrobe ample. There are slippers, robes, and an umbrella in it. The room safe was too wee for a laptop, but appreciated. The mini fridge came stocked. And there was a good setup for serving yourself coffee or tea right within the room. We never actually did it. The bathroom was actually fairly spacious for a cruise ship. In the shower, both the water pressure and the water temperature were great. And the bathroom floors were heated. When you leave your cabin, push some of these buttons.
Most of our operations and all our expedition operations are very much depending on the weather.
This is the Aula Theater, the venue for daily briefings, and there were lectures and even a movie was shown there at one point. Here we're hearing about how they make the ship bird safe. More on that later.
It's going to places that not everybody.
The Aula is on deck 2, but now let's go up to deck 6 and let's go outside to have a look around. I was enjoying getting my last looks at Thunder Bay, but I noticed something else as I look back on this video now. Where are all the people? Again, a consistent theme you're going to hear is you never feel crowded on this ship. Back into the living room, and right away you'll notice something that I didn't comment on before. If you forgot your book, or if you finished your book, you're not out of luck. There's a very well-stocked library here. Here's an example of the very clear signage throughout the ship. And here's another look at the Explorer's Lounge. It turns out it's on decks 4 and 5. 4 is where they have the bar. It's easy to get from deck to deck by elevator or by stairs, and if you get tired doing so, there's places to sit and wait or build a puzzle. This space on deck 3 was used precisely for puzzles. The small shipboard shop was on deck 3 as well. But it's also from deck 3 that you get access to the bow. The ship is designed for the tough weather of the Arctic and Antarctic. This shelter area in the bow would be very helpful there. It was still interesting where we were. And it's in that shelter you'll find the ship's dedication plaque. Going out to the bow and looking back, you can see the shelter below and then the bridge above. Here we are going back into the shelter from the bow. Deck 2 is where you'll find the expedition crew. And while we're here, let me tell you something about bird safe mode. Take a look at the windows. See the shades? They close those every night so birds wouldn't fly into the light. And the room stewards would do the same for each cabin. I thought I would mind because I usually like looking out, but I was happy to keep the birds safe. And with my best Midwest, oh, I'm falling behind. Here's the exercise space and here's the Nordic spa, both on deck 2. Here, just outside the Aula Theater, is another coffee spot, and you could look through the windows down into where they keep what they call the toys. More on that later too. And now that the Aula is not in use, let's take a look at the theater itself. If you exit the Aula on the stern of the ship, you'll find this lovely space. I didn't use it, and I don't think a lot of people did. I think a lot of people never discovered it, honestly. And then it was back to the bow for our sail away. I should mention here that it was July 1, Canada Day. As we were sailing out, off in the distance we could see and hear the fireworks of the celebration. Back inside, there's one more mystery to solve. Where is the hide, and what is it? Okay, well, that's 2 mysteries, but I'll solve the second one. It's another lounge. This is a space where after dinner, various expedition team members will tell their private stories to intimate groups. And I bet it's really loud if they drop anchor and you're in there. It's sort of a thing that you don't tell where it is, but you can probably guess from the windows. Ultimately, you conclude that this is a fairly small ship, so you do tend to see the same things over and over again. But again, just look at how open this place is. Look at how few people you run into. Don't get me wrong, if you want to find people, you will. If you want to make friends, you will. But this is just a really nice, open feeling. Okay, so remember I told you that I bet it would be really loud to be in the hide when they dropped anchor? How about in my cabin? It actually wasn't that bad. I'm just trying to create some drama here. But we could hear it. More onboard outdoor shots without any people in them. But you know where the people are? At lectures.
But something I want to share exciting, not only are we launching 10 more ships, but we are going to endeavor.
Here we are getting ready for the welcome toast. We arrived late. If you want panoramas from on board the ship, there's no problem finding them. And while I understood intellectually how large the Great Lakes are, it was really something to be on Lake Superior. It is an ocean. We've already looked at the World Cafe, so now let's look at the restaurant known as The Restaurant. I'm not kidding, this is its name. The restaurant is the main dining room, and it is the one that has the table service. We only ate there for one dinner, but we thought it was really good. And to prove it's a restaurant, let me show you some pictures of food.
You know what? It all works out like this.
Oh, and real quick, they had an outdoor barbecue on July 4th up on Deck 6. Here's what we got for the 4th of July meal. That's for 2 people, and it was great. We could sit outside and watch them get ready for the various excursions for the day. Or we could sit inside, look out the windows, and also find out about the other various cruises that Viking offers. They don't hard sell anything, but they sure do make it look tempting. And I was tempted. I booked another cruise. Shh, we're going to look around the ship early morning. Quick aside, that's where the cookie jar is normally kept. I don't think cookies are available 24/7, but I found out you can get a cheeseburger anytime. Ah, that's more like it. Here is the shelter area on the bow at a time I actually needed it. It was raining at this point. Interested in our arrival and departure from Duluth. I've done a separate video on that, and it's pretty neat if I say so myself. I love the aerial lift bridge there. Meanwhile, back to the 4th floor Explorers Lounge, it was early no matter what clock you looked at. Coolest bridge in the world. At least I think so. You know, honestly, if you know some other places that have great aerial lift bridges, tell me where they are. Just drop a comment on the video. And by the way, if you're liking the video, I'd love it if you liked the video and also maybe subscribe to the channel. It would really help me, and more people will get to see these videos if you do. Now this is crazy. I think I got to the World Cafe before it had opened for breakfast. But I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I did and just take a look around when there's really nothing to get in the way. The food was consistently really good, by the way.
Yeah, I think this opens at 6:30.
Sorry, my Messi.
Speaking of food, this is Manfredi's. This is the Italian specialty restaurant. It's open only for dinner, so make reservations. It's popular. We also ate here once, and I'll get to that. Just be patient. Now let me take a minute to comment on the bathrooms in the public spaces. They were immaculate. In Duluth, we docked right in town. And don't get the impression we didn't get off the ship. We did. But it was also a chance to come back to the ship a little bit early and have a look around to see some of the places I hadn't focused on yet, like the pools. This is a working harbor, and I loved seeing the big Lakers going by.
Searching for these mighty polar bears, and when you come aboard any of these voyages, we will have briefings where we will.
Members of the expedition team gave a lecture on what you would see in some of their other destinations. The enthusiasm of this team is both genuine and infectious. I found them all to be really great.
This is a reminder about today's activities. In about 15 minutes' time, at 9 o'clock, we will start our open bridge tour.
You have 4 elevators in the midship.
For no extra charge, you get to tour the bridge. This is a big deal. We were taken up in groups of 10. On the bridge, the captain himself greeted us.
And I'm coming from Dubrovnik, Croatia. They said that I'm the captain. What you call GPS.
The captain showed us how an electronic screen had replaced 5,000 navigation charts.
What we did yesterday, we just moved like this, then we came here, make 180-degree turn, and then we proceed. Or entering the locks, we are there. If something was wrong with GPS, let's go back to Columbus' way of navigation. Yeah?
Really?
We don't have propeller and rudder. We don't have conventional, which you are using to.
I did not leave the bridge knowing how to operate the Octantis, but I really enjoyed it nonetheless.
We are divided in 3 shifts.
Gentlemen,
Each depths, screen doors, all watertight doors, all alarms. We have 2.
even the pleasure.
So that people move for information.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Very good.
And in the afternoon of our sea day, we got to go to the toy shed. The submersibles, the Zodiacs, and the special operation boats are the toys. I don't think there's any other cruise line that has the submersibles. In any event, I loved it. I went down, and you should find the separate video I made of that. All this equipment was great in the Great Lakes, and think about how wonderful it would be in Antarctica or the Arctic area.
these lights are here. We got 24 volt, 260 volt lights.
The ship was purpose-built for the toys, and the stern of the ship has ample room for all of them. The special operations boats, which are actually built for the military, can be deployed out the back of the ship and can reach a speed of 40 knots.
And then I see it progress.
This video is from our last day on Lake Michigan. If that doesn't look like an ocean-going vessel, I don't know what does. The ship is the Edwin H. Gott. It's the fastest freighter on the Great Lakes. It's over 1,000 feet long. So that's the Octantis. Okay, wait. While on Lake Michigan, we had one of the best sunsets I've ever seen. So please enjoy the sunset as this video runs to its end. Bye! And just a reminder to subscribe to the channel, please. Thank you.